Good morning, YouTube. This is Tyler Metalhead Weatherman. I hope you guys are having a good start to the weekend. Got a little bit to talk about here. I mentioned it in the last video that we have an ongoing severe weather threat through this whole weekend, and now that even extends into Monday, albeit Sunday and Monday are marginal risk. I feel like I should try to go over that. If things uptick, I might go over it again on Sunday, but otherwise, I might just do a long range forecast and maybe try a few different things as well. Wink, wink. So, that being said, let's get into it. Also, one other thing that I want to bring up as well before I go into the severe weather aspect of things is the fire threat. We had three big fires, not major, but big fires, which is not far from major, emerging around southwestern Texas into New Mexico. And these fires are big to the point where the smoke is actually showing up on satellite, just as clouds would. So this is definitely a major issue, and we still have a critical fire weather threat around here as well. So please, if you're in these areas, just try to avoid burning if at all possible. And if you do have to burn, check with your local authorities on burn ordinance. If you have fireworks, don't shoot them off, because this is getting closer to populated areas, because I was watching storm chases that were around the Amarillo area towards the panhandle of Texas, and you could literally see the smoke covering the sky almost as a haze. So this is definitely starting to get out of hand here, so hopefully people will start to take this seriously. So this is a critical fire threat today. There isn't one tomorrow, but conditions are still going to be dry there, and this could easily change as well. In fact, fire weather tends to change more than severe weather at times. But now that I've gotten that out the way, let's talk about the severe weather now. So we talked about this yesterday. We have a slight risk, and this map hasn't changed really at all. Neither have the hazard types and their percentage chances. There's no hatched risk. It's pretty much exactly the same as yesterday. So let's move on to day 2. Look at our marginal. It's 2%. Alright, so now here's where things have changed. Yesterday this was day 3, so this is my first look at the day 2 threat. Have a 2% chance of a tornado in the marginal areas, of course, in the marginal risk area, of course. Down the middle, the chance is less than 2%, but these 2% areas, the one to the north includes Chicago, Indianapolis, Springfield, Illinois, and it's trying to make a little bit of a push to the south. Not to say, though, that this area in the middle here that's been left out can't get a tornado. Remember the video I made a few days ago? This area here saw a tornado when it wasn't even in a marginal risk. So just because it says less than 2%, don't let that go to your head. Don't get too confident. So anyway, we'll move on to the southern 2% area. Includes Wichita Falls, Dallas, Abilene, Midland, Waco, and Fort Stockton. You're just outside of it. So let's look at the wind. Pretty much covers the entire marginal risk area, going up towards the Great Lakes, even hitting the U.S.-Canadian border. Same areas that were in the tornado threat are all included in this, but this connects with the other 2% region for tornadoes that we saw. So areas like Little Rock and St. Louis, you guys are in this as well. And that's pretty much the only change there. And the hail threat is no different. We'll take a closer look at the parameters once I get through day 3, and then we'll just take a look at we'll take a look at days 4 through 8. If I remember correctly, I did see a couple of potential 2 low days ahead, so that'll be a nice little break for everyone. So on Monday, we have a very small marginal risk area, which is really good news. Pretty much wraps around the Texas-Mexico border. Includes areas like San Antonio, Austin, and once again, Stockton, you're not far away from this. Wouldn't I wouldn't say that a severe storm is impossible around this area, but don't rule it out. But this this far south central part of Texas might be an area of interest on Monday. Let's look through days 4 through 8. And then we'll go, there it is, potential too low on days 4 and 5. And then days 6, 7, and 8, predictability is too low. So definitely more weather down the pipe. Probably I'm going to do a long range forecast tomorrow. And we'll go on from there. Let's take a look at our parameters here. So we're using the NAM. We got a very fresh NAM at that. 12Z came in not too long ago. So we'll get a look at the temperatures real quick. And we'll just keep rolling from that point. Look at the dew points as well. So nothing new here. Expecting a major warm up around here as this line of storms rolls in during the day. Loses steam once we get about here. This might make it to the Georgia, to the southeast by Tuesday, maybe. But it's going to be pretty weak at that point. I don't expect any severe weather out of it. And then I'm also going to be looking at Texas late Sunday night. Right around here is where I'm expecting some storms to develop. Temperatures aren't impressive, so it leads me to think parameters aren't going to be great on this area. So let's take a look at the dew points. So, and even today the dew points aren't the most impressive that I've seen. We're starting to get into the mid 50s and 60s in some spots, but it's not as widespread. The dew points aren't really as rich as they've been over the last few days. Slow this loop speed down a little bit. Okay, so let's go forward here. We do get some good dew points as we go on further into Saturday night. So I'm really interested in this more northern area here. I'm interested to see how the storms will fire, because I think that's going to play a key role in what kind of hazard we have. There is a tornado threat with this. Could be a quasi-linear type setup. I think it kind of lends itself towards a more isolated threat. We do have a decent amount of instability, not the greatest that I've ever seen. Capes aren't very high, but the lapse rate and the moisture is definitely there. So I can definitely say that this tornado threat looks relatively legit. We just need the storms to fire over in that area. So move on to Sunday here. Threat's a little further to the east. I think the threat really lends itself towards more of a straight line damaging wind threat. This kind of has a little bit of a linear look to it, but it's kind of all over the place. Temperatures aren't super impressive. We're only at 65. Dew points are very rich though, so that counts for something. We have plenty of moisture for these storms to work with, so that'll kind of help keep their intensity going for a little bit longer. I'm interested to see what Little Rock looks like in particular. Marginal severe. Pretty impressive lapse rate here in the low to mid levels with the dew points, but the temperature just isn't. The temperatures are definitely there, but I think this could trend towards maybe a marginal tornado threat, but we'll look at the reflectivity and get a better idea of what's going on. Just keep on hitting the wrong button. So watch this move onward. And then Monday, we see some really rich dew points pop up around San Antonio. So this will be really interesting as to how this occurs. I think Monday looks to be a late evening threat. So we'll move on to the reflectivity in a minute. take a look at the low-level jet here, because this will determine a lot of what lies ahead as far as any sort of potential tornado threat. We're already clear that around the northern region is an area of interest, especially to me, because the dew points are going to be high and there's going to be high lapse rate. I think the lapse rates are going to be really high around here. That's how they've been trending the last few days. Move this along. Yeah, the jet stream really, the jet streaks and wind maximums really seem to be favoring the northern plains more than the southern. Then Sunday, I think right around the late evening hours, right around here, there could be a marginal tornado threat. Nope. Dew points around here are a little too low. I'm trying to nail down the timing of this thing too without looking at the name. There we go. Where was this again? I think this was somewhere around Indiana. It's a marginal tornado threat. No real supercell matches on the sounding, so that's good news. I don't think the tornado threat's very high, but it's still worth monitoring. Move this along, take a look at Monday. I definitely think Monday lends itself towards being more of a hail damaging wind type of threat. Well, there is a little bit of a jet stream there, but it's not super impressive. Yeah, marginal severe, can agree with that. Trying to get a better look at this here. Yeah, low-level jet around here isn't very impressive from what I see. Chance for severe, but the overall temperature is looking like 59. Yeah, threat's just not very impressive tomorrow on Monday either, so we'll see if this changes any, if this upticks. Hopefully, if anything, it downticks. But let's go to the Cape real quick. We'll watch this Cape real close around the northern areas today. Oh crap, hit the wrong button again. So into the overnight, the Cape really seems to favor more of the southern plains and around Texas. Not surprising there. We're hitting around 2,000 joules kilogram there. But off to the north, I think that's where the greatest tornado threat's going to be. We're still hitting around 1,000 to 1,500 around here, so the Cape is more than sufficient enough. I think this area to the south will have more of a damaging wind threat. Yep, there you go. This one looks like it has more significant hail, and you can definitely tell because look at the lapse rate at the low levels. Oh my goodness. That is insane. That is insane. I don't think I've seen lapse rates like that since one of the bigger tornado outbreaks earlier this year. Look at that. So we'll move this forward now. So as this goes further to the north, I think that's when we lose more energy. And then this will pop up into the late evening hours around here. Will diminish. I think the Cape's going to spike back up around here Monday, and that's why I think the SBC has this area outlined. Doesn't really seem like it's the most impressive Cape setup either, though. So there's a lot of questions that I have in regards to Monday. I do think that there's a potential for it to downtick, which is good news. But let's take a look at the radar, and we'll see what we got here. So we'll slow the loop. So we can see our snow system, Colorado and Wyoming, the Rockies, Montana. You guys are getting walloped with some heavy snow. Move this along, our mid-level low. Continuing to spin around, cause all sorts of trouble. See a little, yeah, this definitely lends itself towards more of a quasi-linear type setup. QLCS as it's also called. And then Sunday night, this reemerges right around the Great Lakes, Ozarks, and the Ohio Valley region. This moves forward Monday into the Tennessee region. And on the southern tail of this, it looks like that's where our severe weather threat is going to linger. But this will quickly die off. This will go to the south, and then we will probably have scattered showers around the southeast on Tuesday. So, a lot of interesting things going on here. I expect damaging winds tonight around the central plains in particular. Tornado threat more towards the northern plains, and probably big hail towards the southern plains. And then around the Ozarks and the Ohio Valley, you could get a mess of stuff, basically. I see almost what looks like an embedded supercell kind of look, possibly. Uh-oh. This thing's just moving around now, isn't it? Nope. Clicked the wrong one. Alright. I'm getting used to having to use this thing. Alright. While I'm having it do a loop. I often don't see a lot of meteorologists do that. Or YouTube meteorologists like myself doing that. Okay, there we go. Click. Oh, jeez. My mouse doesn't. Having a wireless mouse has its disadvantages. So, this looks like a storm that ends up going on early Monday. Marginal severe. No surprises there. Trying to go back towards Sunday. And looking at this area. There. And that's what I was looking at earlier. I found it again. Lapse rates are a little bit higher up in the atmosphere, but it's good. There is a sufficient amount of instability. Capes are averaging about maybe 1,000, 1,200. More than sufficient enough for a potential tornado threat, albeit not the most impressive. But still plenty to watch on Sunday as well. But this is all I got for you guys. I'll come at you with a long-range forecast tomorrow, unless we get a upgrade to a slight risk on Sunday. Otherwise, I'll get a little bit more in depth. But this has been Ty, your Metalhead Weatherman. I hope you guys enjoy your Saturday. I will see you tomorrow. Have a good one.